Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law, who is now cancer-free, that she has to move? My 32 female mother-in-law, Pam, 57 female, found out she had breast cancer, give or take 2 years ago. As my city has a reference hospital for cancer treatment across the country, my husband and I agreed to let her live with us. Pam is a difficult person to deal with, very critical and stubborn, but my husband controlled the situation. It was okay for 6 months. But after that period, my husband was sent to work in another state for 2 years. It's 4 hours of flight and no direct flight. He stays in the city for 2 months, 2 weeks here and goes back. After that, it was the worst part of Pam's treatment, and I felt overwhelmed. Because she had surgery, she was in very bad health, and everything was on my back. In addition to being treated bad and being a maid for Pam. Also, as my husband had to rent a house there and pay bills, I was 100% responsible for our house financially. Pam never contributed. Every time I complained about my mother-in-law not paying anything, she has a fat pension, and mistreated me, he took her side and said that I should be patient with her, because she is in a bad mood because of the treatment. But even garbage was being better treated than me. I don't know how I held on, but a part of me didn't give up because she didn't have anyone else to take care of her. But it really wore me down emotionally and physically, having to tolerate and care for someone who is ungrateful and disrespectful. 1 week ago, we got the good news that she is completely cancer-free, and that was a great relief. But I had my limit when she said she was thinking about putting her house in another city for rent since she was around here. I burst out crying, saying I couldn't take it anymore, and she had to move out of my house as soon as possible. My husband found out and yelled at me, saying that I couldn't make this decision on my own about our house, and that I made it very clear that Pam was being a burden, making her uncomfortable. I replied with, I pay all the house bills myself. I took care of her without saying anything, and I don't want that anymore. So yes, it's my decision in the house that I pay for. And I don't want to have such an exhausting presence anymore. Pam is at the hotel right now, and all the relatives are calling me a monster for doing this to someone who has recently been cured of cancer. It's okay, my husband might become an ex, but at this stage, I'm just relieved. My heart says I'm right, but I wish I had an outside perspective. Am I the asshole? TA, fake names, English isn't my first language. A small update perhaps, a few hours after posting, but that's it. I barely woke up, my officially future ex-husband called, and said that after what I did to Mom, and disrespecting his opinion on an important decision, he said he can't trust me anymore, and will return to town on Monday to sort things out. But not to fix our relationship, but to determine how we will go our ways. Don't worry, the house is entirely mine before I married him, although now it's a memory of bad things. It's a house, and who knows in the future, maybe I'll sell the house, but right now I'll stay in it. I even considered trying couples therapy, but when he brought up the possibility of divorce, my heart was flooded with relief, and honestly, I love him, but as many of you have said, someone who loves and stands by his wife when she is mistreated. So, I think we'll really walk separately. Going to the market right now to get snacks, and a good alcohol to spend the day. Any Netflix recommendations? Thank you for all the messages of love and support. Many may think it was an obvious, not the asshole situation. But when everyone around you is telling that you are a monster, you doubt your own judgment and heart. Am I the asshole for telling my fiancé it is partly her fault that my family is fighting, and calling what she did gossiping? My fiancé and I are currently planning a wedding, and dealing with all of the stress that comes with that. When she went wedding dress shopping, she decided to invite my mom as an olive branch, as they have never had an easy relationship. My mom decided to try on wedding dresses during my fiancé's appointment for her own wedding, not one of those mother-in-laws wearing white things, and my fiancé was understandably furious. When she told me, I tore my mom a new asshole. I told her if she pulled any more rubbish like that, she would be uninvited. I told my fiancé, who was very happy with how I handled it, so I thought we could move on. Then my cousin, who we are not close with, and who is kind of a mean girl, asked my fiancé what the fight was about, because she had heard my mother's fiancé saying he is done with us. My fiancé told her, so she told her mom, who told everyone. Now the entire family is attacking us, calling us mentally ill, saying my fiancé is a narcissist, for thinking my mom couldn't try anything on at the boutique. My grandparents are threatening not to come. It is a mess. I recently sat down with my fiancé to talk about how to move forward. She said my family is crazy and I agreed, but I asked why she told my cousin. She seemed taken aback and said she only told her the truth. I said she knows my cousin gossips, and I don't understand why she would tell her anything, and I feel she is partly responsible, which hurt me, as I thought I had done a great job handling my mom. My fiancé was clearly hurt, and said it wasn't her fault at all, and she won't be blamed. She said she has the right to share the truth with anyone, and I shouldn't shame her. Edit to clarify one thing. I don't get why she even answered, as we are no contact with my cousin. My cousin has refused to speak to us over a year, because she was afraid if she did, Daddy might cut off her cash flow. Am I the asshole for very politely, and with love, declining a friend's wedding invitation, because she very specifically invited me, but not my partner. Background is, I have known my friend for at least 12 years, supported her through health problems, and a marriage breakdown. She's been there when I've needed it too. We've seen off some tough times together, and I have loved her dearly through it all. Last year, she met a new man, and they're getting married soon. And of course, I couldn't be happier for her. He's lovely, very clever, very kind, and he's crazy about her. This isn't the first wedding for either of them, and he's quite well off, so they're having something of a posh, but smallish wedding ceremony, where his family is, and a reception here, where she lives, all very exciting. Which makes my question all the more awkward. She's very specifically invited me, but not my partner to the wedding reception. I've spoken to the few friends we have in common, and they've all had partners included. One husband that's going has never met her, which means if I did go, I'd be on my own all day. She and my other half have never fallen out, and while I guess he might not be her favorite person in the world, he is mine. He's not all that posh, and yes, they're very different people, but not to put too fine point on it. That didn't seem to matter much when furniture needed moving, or cars needed checking out before buying. But when it comes to a reception in a very posh hotel, it seems to be a thing. She sent an invitation through, with a covering note, saying numbers were limited. The invitation is just for me and she hopes he understands. I didn't show it to him, that just seemed unnecessarily hurtful. So I wrote her what I thought was a very loving letter, saying that I won't be there with her on the day, that I totally understand that numbers are limited, but that I'm very happy for her, and will be thinking of her on the day. I can't wait to hear all about it. I suggested we have a nice long lunch after the event, and she can tell me every detail. I've just come home to find the letter back through the letterbox, torn into pieces. Have I been an asshole? Should I have just accepted the invitation and smiled? Update. She's just called in tears. Apparently his very adult children, they're 30-odd, and much of his family, have refused to come to the London thing. Long story, but they don't approve of the swift wedding, and it's causing enormous pain to them both, which I understand. She apologized profusely for tearing up my letter, and says she acted so awfully because she's so stressed and upset, and is very ashamed of herself. She got a few refusals today, and apparently mine was something of a lightning rod for her emotions. That's why she did what she did. I'm so grateful to you all for your thoughts, because I'd hashed it all out here. I was able to be calm and just listen. My partner wasn't in the least bit offended at not being invited in the end, and her excuse for not inviting him was that she thought he wouldn't be comfortable. That still sticks with me a little bit for some reason, but I'm letting it go. She says he's more than welcome if he'd like to come. Yes, I am ignoring the fact that he's clearly a space filler now, and we're probably going, because I don't want to add to her distress, but I'll talk to him when he wakes up. Morning update. I've had a very long talk with my partner. He thinks we should go, keep the peace, and be happy for her. He thinks she'll have another drama about something else soon enough, and I think he makes a good point. I won't mention the ripped up letter to anyone, or the invite upset. We're just going to pretend it never happened. He reserves the right to tell her that he's coming in a dinosaur costume though, and I think that's fair. He won't actually do it, obviously. I'm not keen to lose a friend and I'll try not to, but I probably won't rely on her quite as much as I have in the past. Thank you all for your comments. It's been really helpful to talk this out. Am I the asshole for uninviting my sister to my wedding party after she said she wouldn't come to the ceremony? Me, female, and my sister, Kate, have different religions. I am Catholic, and she is evangelical. We have our ideological differences, but we have a very close relationship. After all, it was just me, her, and my mother our entire childhood, adolescence. I was proposed to 3 months ago. I decided I would have my maid of honor as my sister, and no bridesmaid. My fiancé agrees, and only chose his best friend. There will be a religious ceremony at the church, and then we will go to a venue where the party will take place. For me, it's important to get married in church. It will happen in 4 months. When I asked Kate to be my maid of honor, and she was super excited. But during the preparations, when she learned that I would have a ceremony at the church, she seemed uncomfortable, but I didn't question it. I waited for her to speak. Well, last week, she called me for coffee and said that she didn't feel comfortable going to a Catholic church because of her religion, so she couldn't attend the religious ceremony, but she would love to go to the party, participate in everything. She just wouldn't go to the ceremony. I got really upset and said, this is an important moment for me, much more than the party, and I wish all the people I love were there, including you. She replied, I don't feel comfortable going into churches, other than my own, but I will participate in everything else. Me, I don't feel comfortable in other churches either, but I went with the greatest honor to your wedding, because I know it was important to you as well as for me. She still stuck to the decision and I felt so tired, and sad, that I just got up and walked away. After a lot of thinking, I called her and said, if one of the people I love the most can't stay 2 hours, at the most important moment for me, even though I asked it to be there for me, and not for our religion, then I think you shouldn't come to my wedding. If you can't make a concession for me, then I shouldn't make one for you. Well, she keeps texting me saying that I'm overreacting, and that I should respect her stance. She and my mother are pressuring me to go back on my decision. I'm just really upset. It's something extremely important to me. I would like to have her be there, and on my side. But she doesn't want to, and I felt betrayed. Because I did it for her and she didn't for me. Am I the asshole? Thanks for watching. What do you think about each of the OP's posts? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.